The Eahora Tiger Max comes with dual 800 watt motors, each powered by a separate sine wave controller at 23 amps of current, for a total of 46 amps. Together, these motors generate 40 to 45 Newton meters of torque per motor. Personally, I find the Tiger Max to be extremely torquey at takeoff due to the power of the dual motors, which is extremely thrilling, but that torque tapers off quickly as you speed into a mid to high speed range. The powerful low-end torque can be useful while you are at a stop sign or a traffic light and need to clear that intersection quickly, but you may lack the instantaneous torque in the mid-range to quickly accelerate past a slower cyclist while you are already moving at speed. While you will still accelerate, it just won't be nearly as pronounced as the takeoff torque from a standstill launch. Speaking of passing, the top speed of the Tiger Max is listed at 34 miles per hour, and I've reached 33.7 miles per hour in my speed test. So yes, the marketed speed is actually surprisingly accurate. However, it does take a while to ramp up to 34 miles per hour from a standstill, especially above 30 miles per hour. It does take quite a while to go from 30 to 34. These motors are extremely quiet, which is great if you want to stay off the radar. The only thing I can realistically hear is a soft hum, and everything else is just tires turning against the pavement. The 10-inch pneumatic air tires and the dual front and rear spring suspensions make street riding Tiger Max surprisingly comfortable. The suspensions were adjustable to fit different road conditions. I'm 5'9" and 190 pounds. I feel the suspensions are tuned pretty well out of the box for a heavier person, as the front end doesn't sink much at all when braking hard, but still seems to dampen quite a bit of unevenness coming from the road. The shocks have quite a bit of travel, which is why the scooter feels really comfortable. The spring stiffness can be adjusted to better fit your weight and riding style. I'm pretty sure these springs can be swapped as well, but for a rider under 265 pounds, you shouldn't need to swap out any springs. The stock 10-inch pneumatic tires also contribute to the comfort of the ride, as these air-filled tires cushion and dampen vibrations quite a bit. These tires are 3 inches wide, which feels more nimble on the road, allowing you to lean and turn aggressively. Also, narrow tires have lower friction with the ground, allowing you to ride farther more efficiently. The only downside of thinner tires is the decrease in grip, which might affect your ability to grip the road on rainy days or when trying to brake really hard. Speaking of rainy days, this scooter is IPX6 splash proof and comes with front and rear fenders. However, it is worth noting that Eahora strongly recommends not to ride on rainy days or through water. The claimed range of the Tiger Max is roughly 34 miles per charge. It is powered by an 873.6 watt-hour battery at 48 volts in a 13S7P configuration. I got roughly 21 miles while staying exclusively in the two-wheel drive turbo mode. That's including plenty of maximum stop and goes, as well as battery draining off-road riding. So I think it did pretty well considering how much work I was putting it through. I did a separate one-motor range test and got 27 miles out of the range, which I think is pretty good if you need to go very far in a day. The torque does seem to diminish somewhat when the battery is under 50%. However, it did well maintaining that performance all the way until the batteries are completely drained with no further deterioration through the entire discharge cycle. This is due to the 7P battery configuration, as more parallels in battery packs can offer more current even when the battery pack is mostly discharged. Speaking of batteries, the batteries used in the Tiger Max are certified by UL and comes with UL certificates. This is great to see and gives me a great peace of mind when owning electric vehicles such as the Tiger Max, as the battery and the battery factory have undergone testing and audits to ensure quality and safety. However, the battery charges around 9.5 hours at 2 amps with the included battery charger. Since this is an 18.2 amp hour battery, it will take the scooter around 9.1 hours to charge from empty to full, which is more than an entire workday. So don't expect to just sit in a coffee shop and quickly top off the battery. The best thing is to just find a place at work, such as under your desk, and slowly top off through the day. The good news is that the Tiger Max can quickly fold down with the action lever at the bottom of the stem and at the handlebar. Though slow charging has its benefit of prolonging battery life, you could get a slightly faster charger by contacting Eahora directly. They offer a 3A charger that charges 50% quicker at around 6 hours for a full charge. Speaking of foldable handlebars, these come out to be 22.8 inches when unfolded. The width of the handlebar is pretty spacious. The handlebar has a flat rubber extension, which I like quite a bit to help reduce fatigue. And the height of the handlebar is adjustable, allowing me to ride longer without feeling numb in my hands. However, because the handlebar locking mechanism moves and don't lock into place, you don't have a lot of space to mount gadgets to on the handlebar, so realistically you only have the spots near the LCD screen to mount one or two things. The LCD screen is a bright monochromatic screen visible from a wide range of angles. The pros of this screen is that it is extremely easy to read as compared to other colored screens on a sunny day. The downside is that you don't get color-coded data that can help you read telemetry quicker. To change riding modes, click the plus sign or minus sign. I've tested mode 1 and 2 but quickly grew out of them. I would say, for a normal person, you'll probably be staying in mode 3 exclusively. You may also click on I to change the displayed information, such as trip meter, total mileage, and voltage. Enter a quick password of 1111 to enter the menu. Here you can change a few things. The first thing I recommend to change is to increase the top speed, which is menu P8. It was at 72% and my top speed was topped at 22 miles per hour. After raising this number to 100%, I was able to hit close to 34 miles per hour. There are other things you can change, such as the kickstart option or EABS toggle. I'll leave the full list on the screen. The Tiger Max is controlled by a thumb throttle that circles around the handlebar. I prefer this type of thumb throttle over the lever ones because it feels more sturdy and planted. The throttle is smooth and responsive and linear, so it's really easy to understand and get accustomed to the throttle response and acceleration curve. Now comes the fun part. I actually love off-roading on the Tiger Max. I've tried other cheaper scooters in the same price range for off-roading, but those just don't have a good enough suspension setup. I think the suspensions on the Tiger Max are tuned well for medium to low speed riding on packed dirt and low cut grass. The bottom clearance is also 7.5 inches tall thanks to the large wheels. The suspensions do their jobs admirably, and the dual motors have enough kick to handle aggressive inclines. Now, because these are using street riding tires, I do find the tires start to slip when the ground becomes looser with gravel while making turns. You can always change to knobby tires to increase your grip for off-road purposes. Other than that, these street tires actually can do quite a bit in various terrains. Also, as I mentioned before, you can adjust the spring suspensions so you can adapt to more terrains and riding styles. Again, these are pretty good springs, but they are limited to light off-roading as you cannot control things like rebound levels to further customize your ride. The Tiger Max's brakes are drum brakes, which does not hold a great reputation in the scooter world, but you can turn on EABS or regenerative braking to engage whenever you pull on the brake lever. In my testing, the drum brakes and the EABS works together to give you a very solid braking distance. However, the EABS does come in strong even when you lightly tap the brake levers. It does take away the rider's ability to fine-tune their speed. Say for instance, when going downhill, I find myself speeding up too much, so I usually lightly tap the brakes just enough to maintain speed rather than slowing down. When the EABS engages, it's so powerful that it will always slow you down, not giving the rider the ability to fine-tune the speed and even come off as jerky in some instances. Because of this, I have the EABS turned off, but I do recommend riders turning this feature on if you constantly ride in traffic, as I think being able to brake for emergencies is a top priority. Without the EABS enabled, the ride is a whole lot smoother. But drum brakes, as you know, aren't as powerful, so be sure to get used to squeezing both brake levers hard to get adequate amount of braking. The Tiger Max has some pretty sick LEDs integrated into the deck, as well as having a bright front LED and turn signals. The front LED is horizontally cut, so the light won't blind oncoming traffic. The rear LED blinks when brakes are engaged. The ambient LED can change LED color to whatever combination you want. I leave it on red most of the time when I'm on the road.
So here's something really interesting. The light button only works for the front light. It does not work for the rear light. See, the front light is turned on, but the rear light is off. It does not turn on. The only way to turn on the rear light is to turn on the entire light show on the side of your board, and then the rear lights turn on. So the front light and the rear light are connected individually. If you're riding at night, if you turn on the front light, remember to also turn on the side lights to turn on the rear lights.
The chassis of the scooter uses aerospace grade 6061 T6 aluminum, which has great strength to weight ratio. The entire scooter is made out of either aluminum or some other type of metal, which makes the Tiger Max feel extremely premium to the touch of the hand. However, it is not light either. The scooter is roughly 61 pounds, not something you want to carry around for more than 5 minutes or up more than 2 to 3 flights of stairs. However, I do like that the stem is foldable and lockable, so you can carry it around by holding the stem.
As you can see here, the Tiger Max is a medium-sized electric scooter. It's not as huge and bulky as a premium scooter like the Nami, nor is it super small and dinky like a $500 scooter. It's somewhere that I think is just right. In fact, this is big enough for me to do tricks and powerful enough to do tricks. The Nami sometimes just feels too bulky, right? And as you can see, the stems, the Nami appears to be a little bit taller, but that's because the Nami's baseline is a little bit taller. But I think personally, the Eahora Tiger Max is kind of like the perfect size. Not too small, big enough to be stable, but still small enough to be super nimble.
The kickstand is a lightweight stand. Sometimes I like to stand on the scooter with the kickstand on to practice riding positions or just to look at the display menu, but the stand looks like it's going to give up at any moment. Or if you slightly push the scooter forward or back, the kickstand tends to fold itself back up. I've had 2 close calls like this. Not a big deal, but kinda wish the kickstand is a bit firmer. The deck is about 19 inches long and 8 inches wide, plenty of space to fit both of your feet comfortably on the deck while riding. I'm just unsure about this rubber design. While it is grippy and helps me firmly plant my feet on the Tiger Max, it also does seem like a dust magnet. I get quite a bit of footprints here the minute I step on it. The Tiger Max uses NFC tags to turn on. This is a great security feature for those who commute with the scooter and need to lock it outside. This acts like a key and prevents anyone from able to use the scooter if it is stolen. But as me, who ride recreationally for fun, I don't need this feature, and now I have to keep track an extra set of keys. In conclusion, the Eahora Tiger Max offers an exhilarating ride with its dual 800-watt motors, providing impressive torque at takeoff, making it ideal for quick starts at intersections and enjoyable off-roading on packed dirt and low-cut grass. While the torque tapers off at higher speeds and as the battery depletes, it still reaches its marketed top speed of 34 miles per hour, confirming its performance claims. The 10-inch pneumatic tires and well-tuned suspensions contribute to a comfortable and nimble riding experience, though the use of narrow street tires may affect grip on looser terrains and in rainy conditions. Battery life is respectable, offering up to 27 miles in one motor mode, and the use of UL certified batteries deserves some recognition for safety. Overall, the Tiger Max is a thrilling and comfortable scooter for both street riding and light off-roading, providing a balance of performance and comfort.